but lack of perspective. Well, I want to welcome each and every one of you for being here today. This is just a standard chat. It's nothing big, it's nothing special. It's just wanted to check in with all of you and see how you were. I just got through doing the last little thing you saw from, I think that was, let me see, who was that from? I think that was from Judicial Watch. And I pulled it. I pulled it because it was just not, I'm going to turn it into a video for you guys because I really do honestly want it to be a little bit cleaner and crisper than that. Hi. Hey, Lisa, how are you? You can get a little frustrated when you start reading a lot of this stuff. And there's been so many things that I have over the past few weeks wanted to bring to you guys, but I'm trying so desperately to protect what's left here and what remains. And so I don't want to be reckless and, just upload stuff because, well, it is hard hitting stuff. And some of the stuff is just really showing you exactly what's going on. With that in mind, I would like for everybody who can to please, if you get the chance, go and visit me on the shoot. If you can do that, if you have not already gone over there, do that. Everything that we do over here gets uploaded automatically to BitChute. Unfortunately, my sister left here with those passcodes, and I have no way of getting it. We've reached out to that company and still can't. So, Lisa Erhall, I want to say hello to you. But things are getting kind of hectic. Remember that song? It's getting kind of hectic. It's getting kind of hectic. Yes, it is. So we're just doing a little bit of a roundup today, just chatting and talking, reading a few stories and things of that nature. For those people who may not have 30 minutes to sit, you may want to just break this up into sections. So that way you can come in and read it as listen to it as you see fit. Some of these stories you guys may already have heard, and some you may already know about. And there's some folks out here that are so astute that I appreciate you guys for emailing. I don't want to say your names because you've not given me the permission to use your name. But I do want to say that there are a lot of you who have sent really good information, and some of that we have turned into videos here. I just for those of you who are who've been with this channel for some time, I want to tell you that I had a very encouraging phone call with somebody who knew Bettina from many years ago, and there's two ladies that have reached out to us, and it's just been a blessing to hear all of the wonderful information that they have about her from years ago. And that's such a beautiful thing. June McFadden, hi, I'm so glad that you're new and I want to welcome you. Charlie Sigler, hello, how are you, brother? Please let me know when you get that package because we just put it in the mailbox today. Okay. And you got to know that you know that you know. It's on the way. I thought we had already put it out there, but the only thing that they ended up taking when they took a boatload of mail from us here, some returns and some stuff that we have with books for the kids, that did not make it, and I thought it did. So that will be going out. It's actually gone out today. Hey, Sandy. So when you get it, please let me know. Will you do that for me, Charlie? Let me know as soon as you get it, because I feel like, oh, yikes, what is this still doing here? But it just went out today. So when you get it, just let me know so we know that everything is cool. All right, so now you guys, I'm really mad today. And so that's one of the reasons why I pulled the story from earlier, because I was really outdone, and it just did not seem to me to be something that I would want to go forward. As far as I wasn't angry when I'm saying that it wasn't an angry read in that I, went off and went off like I just did on Blog Talk a few minutes ago. I literally said one cuss word, which I usually do not. But I think it's because I'm just so fed up with everything that I see that's going on around us. And I understand that with quill and parchment, we've gotten into the situation that we're in. And yeah, it does bug you, even though you are even though I am a person who is a very spiritual person. Sometimes it takes us spiritual people getting angry at what we see in the natural realm to make things change. Let that sit there for a second. Sometimes those of us who are spiritual, it takes us seeing certain things that are disingenuous and unfair to prompt change. And I don't mean the type of change that people were sold a few years ago. I mean literally, pushing in to the heavenlies and pulling down that realm into this one. That's exactly what I mean. There's just so much stuff. I'm reading here, and as I was reading that story to you guys earlier, because I know some of you probably went back to see it, and it is gone, because I took it down. It just made me angry that we are literally suiting up, getting suited and booted to go to others' borders to quote unquote protect them from others invading them. And if you just remove the line, they were all one at one time anyhow, frankly. Okay. And so we have to sit back and just ignore the obvious. And that's the start. That's the stuff I think that bugged me. That while I was reading that story to you guys about the borders, it really made me angry. It really, really did. Because here we are going in to protect others, and here we have let down the guard at our borders. Now, I just said something recently. June McFadden says, "Hi, everyone. What a wonderful, upbeat group. I love friendly people. They are friendly. Everybody over here is friendly. Okay? They are all friendly, and I'm glad you're here too." Stephanie says, "Being polite is just is just keeping a narrative alive. We need not be polite in order to really make a change." That's absolutely right. Um, and you know what? I'm going to say something to that point, Stephanie. When I've ever ministered to women, I've always talked to them and I've always said, you don't have to be polite. A lot of women who've been abused, and I'm using this as an example to your point as to what I'm talking about on the grander scheme. So please understand what I'm trying to say, folks. Whenever I've ministered to women, one of the things that I've always told them is you didn't have to be polite. Things happen to us because, well, we think that there's just a sense of political correctness or being polite to people that we don't want to offend. And so, therefore, we sort of sit back, and in the end, we end up getting hurt. I think that we have all been geared in some way or another here in this nation to just be polite to people. We're the big melting pot. Oh, it's okay. It's just this, it's just that. And if you think of anything else, then you're considered, a bad guy or a bad girl. If you don't, if you raise an eyebrow, that's one thing. But to raise an eyebrow with questions is another thing. And that's, I think, how we ended up where we are. No one ever said that that was a bit much with the ink pens, and a bit much with writing out different things that superseded our first, second, third amendments, all of our constitutional rights, the things that we have inalienable and some inalienable rights that have nothing to do with what's written, right? But those things that are written help keep things in order here. And unfortunately, it's those things that are written that are now being negated in every way, shape, and form. We were literally, as a nation, over the last 2 years, mind messed. We were messed with in our mind. And there's another term that I use, but I can't use it here, okay? But we were mind massaged over the past 2 years with one particular topic that, in a sense of being like a Diablo type of aggressor, because Diablo, I always say, beats and beats and hits and hits and hits, and that's exactly what the meaning of the word is, or used to be. Because I went to go look at it recently, and I was like, well, yeah, they changed the meaning of that. Well, because words are spells, and they created them so they can do whatever they want to do with the words. But the principle of what I'm saying exists, regardless to what they remove. That if you continuously have something hit and hit and hit, you lose track of time. Although it wasn't fun what you were experiencing, you lost track of time. And now we are sitting at the precipice of the end of what is legally and literally a clinical trial that ends in 2023. Let that sit there, because I said it. And as we sit here, coming at the end, right? Because if you've ever worked on a group or in on a job, and you've been an executive and you've been a part of a program where you had a particular portion of this job that you needed to do, and you guys all sat together and you did a study, and this person's responsible for this and that person's responsible for this. Well, you each had a piece, and at pivotal points you all meet together to bring your findings before you have to take your major report and turn it into the CEO or turn it into the board of directors, right? This is exactly that. So right now, if we all started this together 2 years ago, we would all be shaking each other's hands and congratulating one another because, well, now we've reached almost to the end. Because at the top of 2023 is when all of the findings of what's been going on over the past 2 years will be realized. Please read between the lines if you don't get me. And so now where we are, exactly, Roger. Where we are now is looking at a total dismantling of what was from the inside out. Well, they knew they couldn't take us out on the land or on the sea, definitely not in the air, because as you all know, couldn't nobody rock with us in the air. All right. And they knew that there would be some difficulty because we would stand with those who we love, members of our families who got sworn in either the Army or the Marines or the Navy, or we would stand beside them. And so the only way that they could do what they did is do what they've done. And that is to get in real, real close, real good, real close, real close, real, real close, and take us out the way they have. And so when I read that story earlier today, I was a bit everywhere because I could not believe the percentages of what has happened at our border and that we would have the gall to go someplace else to protect them. You can take them same 8,500 that you claim, and I say claim, are on alert, and take them down there to our border. How about that? If you about that life, go protect us. If you about that life. If you are about that, then why don't we have those people that you state are on alert down at our borders? Why are we able to see reports of people that are just flooding our borders and nobody's doing anything? These are the things that make me upset when I see this. So even though, yes, I am a spiritual person, I feel that it's time for us to get a little ticked so that we can enter into the kingdom, enter into the throne room of grace to obtain mercy, to ask Yah for forgiveness, and then enter in and then intercede for this nation that we live in. Because you're here. It is time for great intercessors to begin to intercede. It's time for some neology. And don't be no joke about it. Don't be no, wimp about it. If you got to protect your physical self, then you handle your business. But I'm telling you that right now it's time for us to get angry and it's time for us to pray. It's time for us to get in and it's time for us to declare what the word of our Father says about the situation that we see going on right now. I just told you guys the other day what I thought, and I thought that what they were going to do is to allow this current situation to sort of, bow down a little bit so that they can get a little bit of relaxation to pull the rug. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen. And like I said then, this wasn't anything prophetically that I received. It wasn't anything like that. It was just what I feel in my gut. And why do I say that? Because I think there are a lot of people who have the gift of prophecy who misuse their gift and get out there and say, what thus saith the Lord. And it's not the Lord. Okay? That's the reason why I said that. Because I'm not going to lead anybody astray. All right? Okay? That's why I said I think that this is what's going to happen. And in as much as I said that, it's going on. But just watch and see what else is happening. See, enough fear, 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 fear. If they get you with fear, fear, more fear, more fear, more fear, more fear, then that begins to take over. That begins to take over, fear. So we cannot let fear rule us. We have to allow the Father in heaven to be our guide in everything that we do, because love covers a multitude of sin. And love covers all the stuff that ain't cool. So therefore, you've got to love the nation that you live in enough to get on your knees and seek Yah with his word. Speak back his word to him. Give him his word, and he will honor his word. Give him his word, and he will honor his word. The Etiquette for Dummies says all theater, all scripted chaos, magic and sorcery, to the most degree. To the utmost degree, yes. Okay? Now we see it. Now we see it. And there is a way that you have to enter into that type of stuff. Sometimes you got to get quiet and by yourself and block out all the people that still want to talk that other stuff so that you can get laser focused and specific and begin to quote the scripture and the word of Yah until it comes to fruition. Because most of us don't have that as a tool or a gifting or a trait that we've put any exercise in, it becomes a problem. So before you get ready to say what you want to say, as far as the word is concerned, in your own private prayer life and in your own private prayer time and in your own private intercession time for the nation, because you pray for you, according to the word, you pray. Because looking at the word pray tells you what you are doing, and that is you are making a covenant, you're making a bond, you're putting out a decree with the Father. Father, that if this is what's going on in my life, let this happen. I will give this, I'm laying this down, I'm laying this issue down at your feet. That if you remove this issue from my life, this is what I am willing to do according to your word. That's how you pray. But when you're interceding for somebody and interceding for your nation, you pray the word concerning the issues. You talk about the issues with the Father in intercession. Some people may or may not agree with that. And that's fine, because that's really not even the point. The point that I'm making is we in trouble. Anytime I can read numbers like that, those numbers were astronomical. And literally when I uploaded it, as soon as we were done live, I said, I can't. That was not even, I couldn't even focus, even though I had read this thing over and over again. I couldn't even focus because the numbers were just unbelievable. This is going on at our border. While I'm reading it and I'm talking to you guys live, I'm saying this is at our border, and we talking about going where? Where you want to protect your son? Where you want to threaten people that you're not going to give money? So we all supposed to just pretend like we didn't see the video with you with your leg crossed, sitting up talking about not giving money. This is the part that's making my head swell. This is the part that's just making me go, yikes. That's the part right there. That piece right there is what gave me agita. That's why I said, I can't let that go. I gotta let that, I can't even put that out. That wasn't even, I was so frustrated when I read that. That wasn't so good. So let me take this off right now. And I went ahead and immediately deleted it. But I'm going to tell you that if you guys do not support Judicial Watch, and I know that there are some people that say, well, there's bad in all these companies and all these people are saying that they're doing this and they're doing that. Well, you know what? You got to hitch your wagon to somebody. Okay. And that's where the story came from. It came from Judicial Watch. All right. All right. And that's why I was trying to bring it to you guys, because I said, when I looked at these numbers right here, when I looked at this, I could not believe it. These numbers are off the chain. Look at this. As illegal immigration continues to slam American cities near the Mexican border, one Arizona town in particular is feeling the heat with a ghastly, that's like 2,405% increase. When you have 0.49, you round that up, 2,405% increase in immigrants during the first 2 months of the fiscal year that started in October. I'm sorry, that right there, for me, I don't get it. I don't get it. This is asinine. This is asinine. Meanwhile, we're still paying people's paychecks to do this gig. And you have the audacity to tell us how you know that you're going to get into, some type of scuffle with Russia. And, we upset, we going to let them know, we the U.S. and we serious and we ain't joking. You ain't nothing if you can't take care of home because you don't want to. Now, let's just be serious here for a second. My opinion again. And I may have to remove this. I don't know. Okay? This is what I want to say. This whole thing has been an unbelievable script that people have gotten paid money to act their role out. This is Judicial Watch, what's on the screen. These figures, however, regardless to who says it, okay? These figures are figures that are able to be gleaned. See right there where it says figures and it's a hyperlink? All I got to do is click that according to the figures, the government figures. If I click that, that'll take me to tangible figures that are real. You may not like this cat. You may not like what he stands for. You may not like none of the stuff. You may not like any of the people that I read any of the stories from, and all that's cool. But I know that you're smart enough to know that in all you're getting, you get understanding. And in all you're getting, you glean the good stuff out. Take that part, go pull it, and go study it on your own, and you throw away the rest. We used to say back in the day, used to eat the watermelon and spit out the seeds. Yeah, I said watermelon and spit out the seeds because you want the good part. All right? But get this. You may or may not get with this cat, but these numbers that he has given us, you cannot refute. You cannot refute. I'm a win-win. Hello, baby. How you doing? Thank you for saying hello. How you doing? Carlin, hi. How you doing? Don't want to miss you, but hey. Okay? So, yeah, the numbers you cannot refute. And so while I'm reading these numbers and while I'm looking at all this stuff, I'm getting a little angry. I'm getting angry because I know that this is a play. And unfortunately, all the people who took money and put it in their pockets to sell us out, they think that it's just a script and a play. But they don't understand that the other cats on the outside watching, that they think is a part of this, they already outside know that it ain't no joke. You just took this money because you think this is a joke, that this is a play, and this is your part, and at the end of it, you're going to be done. Alan, what's good, baby? After this, you're going to be done, and there's going to be nothing else to talk about. But what you don't understand is while we do that, we have stories that I published like last year, China building a foothold. And I said it nice and calmly and quietly. Read it nice and calmly and quietly. All of the ports around the United States are owned by China, or leased at 99-year lease. I said it. Said it over a year ago. Like, hello. And now everybody's talking about we ain't got no food. Well, that's because they're part of this. And meanwhile, they have all the grain. They have all the grain. Did you see how much grain these cats got? Did you see how much foodstuffs they have prepared for? Did you hear their little cat bragging on the fact that they have at least 2 years food stock supply? And like I said before, all you got to do is divide that in half. Because they're going to get their people what they want them to have. That can literally stretch as long as they want it to stretch. And yet, we think that we're going to saunter in to the Ukraine because of a play, a script that's been given that they're acting out. We think we're going to saunter in to that area. And you don't remember who's kicking it with this cat you're about to go up against that you could not even fight your way out of a paper bag with? You think that the agreements that they've got underhanded by themselves with China and Iran together, all three of them in the bed at the same time, you think that menage a trois can be beat up because you got a little bit of dust kicking with your feet, running your mouth, running your jibs? Because see, you still playing the part. You don't understand you playing a role. They ain't joking. See, they're building a way around you, big mouth, and you sitting up here playing a game. Because you truly and honestly do believe the skit. It's a skit. Somebody gave you the topic and let you run with the rest of it. They gave you the topic and let you run with the rest of it. And that's exactly what the issue is. They have been stockpiling grains and food and everything. Hey, Timothy, how you doing? Deborah, baby, how you been? Aaron, it's good to see you. And LJ, it's good to see you too. Rage Against the Machine, what's good? So we're sitting here playing this game. June. Okay? How you doing, June? So this is the game. We're playing a game. We don't realize they not playing. But the cats that's taking the money and put it in their pocket to make themselves fatter and richer, they think this is just the way that it goes, you know. Yeah, as a matter of fact, the money felt so good, I think I want to be reelected again, even though I've got one foot on a banana peel and the other one inside of the grave, Nancy Pelosi says. It's time for me to come and tell everybody that I want to run again. It's time for me. I'm going to run again. Where are you going, Nancy Pelosi? Why are you running again? Well, because you know that there's still a little bit more. See, what happens with a greedy person is a greedy person keeps going. Maybe I should have done this on my channel. I can afford to lose it. I can't afford to lose over here. But I tell you one thing. If all of you guys would please go to the TLP, Headlines with a Voice, TLP, Headlines with a Voice. I'm not sure if there's any of my mods on that side because I'm not on that side. Timothy Contreras, please go to TLP, Headlines with a Voice. If I see more people go over there and subscribe, because it's a small teeny tiny channel. It's not anything that I'm trying to push. It's not monetized, none of that. If y'all go to TLP, Headlines with a Voice, and you subscribe, I'll be happy, because then I will definitely make sure that I go over there and that I, hey Scott, that I make sure that I go over there and do the lives, because I really, really honestly am not feeling this whole thing. You got people talk. I mean, what's with the no term limits at all? Just keep going till you darn near dead. And you're corrupt. You can't line that kiln with enough of the money that you're taking, and they would have to have a kiln to kill them, to let them out once they're gone. They would have to. They would have to go in there with a kiln or put them in something, because the evil will just continue. The evil will just continue if you don't get rid of them. Somehow, you got to get rid of the evil. Okay? Okay. Now, we've got all types of issues going on throughout the United States. We've got crime in New York, but we can't talk about that, right? We got crime going off the chain in California, but we can't talk about that. We got crime all over Texas, but we can't talk about that. We got crime all over Alabama, all over Atlanta, all over everywhere you can think of. It is going off. It is going off. Yes, it's TLP, Headlines with a Voice. And it was dedicated to Bettina right before I came over here. Okay? Okay? All right? We got crime everywhere. We got criminals and crooks running the country, and we can't say nothing about it. I got to sit here and be quiet. I can only just read and shake my head. Well, I'm tired of that. There's crooks and criminals running the country, and they're getting away with it. They have imploded us from the inside out. We have been taken over. Period. I'm sorry. I got to say it, though. Stacy, I'm going to tell you. Samantha, how you doing? I'm going to tell you. I think I've just about had enough of figures like this. Now, as we read the rest of the story that I could not get out while I was trying to read it to you earlier, because see, when you get full, sometimes it's hard to restrain yourself. Yeah. June, girl, you ain't said nothing but a thing. That is exactly right. Because I feel like this, you want to make it, you want to pull out the true people who really do mean what they say while they're running for office. And you offer these son of a guns 35 grand a year with no ability to make any more money while they are in there. Whatever house that they live in, when they get in there, they must keep that for the 2 years that we're going to give them to do their thing for their constituents back home. You give them 2 years, you give them $35,000. You tell them with this 2-year bid and this $35,000 per annum, you better keep your side gig, because you're not going to be able to get rich coming here. You cannot, hey, watchful and alert, I miss you. You cannot come here and get rich. You can't write no books. You can't do any of that. Now, when you leave, you can do whatever you want. Well, because then you won't have your hand in the cookie jar. So, yeah, we're going to give you 2 years. You're going to get $35,000 a year, because that's what the gig pays if you want to, represent your constituents. And with the 2 years, you better do the best that the people tell you to do. You better do what the people that sent you here tell you to do. And no, you cannot run again. No, you cannot. No, you cannot become a billionaire while you are here. No, you cannot. No, you cannot do any lobbying for anyone. No, you cannot. No, you can't. So if they get a pen and pad and start rewriting stuff, that's what needs to be rewritten. You cannot come in here and become a billionaire. You cannot come here and start sending out money all over the place. Let me show you the money. No, let me shut up. Let me just tell you that there's a lot of money. A lot of money. You can't find it? I'm gonna get it for you, baby. Hold on. You guys give me a second. Let me go on the other side here and I'll pull it up for you guys. All right, hold on. I'll pull it up. All right. And yeah, so it's like you can't tell me anything. You can't tell me anything about you wanting to do anything else. I don't want to hear nothing about people coming into me. Well, I want to do so much more for my constituents. That old chick, the crypt keeper, that's living out there in California, that old crypt keeper, she would not be able to get away with anything. She would not be able to get away with anything. Okay? Not with anything. She would have been gone a long time ago. Okay? Y'all bless you, Mark Owens. Bless you, baby. Bless you, baby. Okay? I appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I know that y'all put me on your heart. I appreciate that. That $50.50, baby, I appreciate that. Okay? So the deal is, Alan, hey, I'm over here. Angela, hey, sis. So the deal is that, yeah, what I feel is none of y'all need to be able to do more than two. Here's my point. If you only get these cats 2 years in office, and if you only pay these cats 35 grand per annum, the job ain't gonna seem too, tasty after that. Because generally people that are coming from a community that has been downtrodden, and let me dispel the myth right quick. Let me dispel the myth. Have you driven through rural Alabama? Those folks ain't just black folks. Those folks are white folks too. So if you get people that are based on, take your constituency and you only come with their core value, their core needs, and you take that upstairs, you go up yonder with that, then you're into some business. Because now I only want to hear about how we can help you and your state. All right? Don't come in the states' rights trying to tell us what to do, because we know what goes on here. All right? If they are made to go back and deal with everybody from Bonquisha to Billy Bob in the areas that they come from, I guarantee you ain't nobody gonna be that rich no more. How in the heck do you come from San Francisco and go into Washington and make all that money that you make? They ought to also make it, if your mama and daddy was a crook, you can't be in office, period. If your mama and your daddy was a crook, if your mama and your daddy was involved in racketeering, if your mama and your daddy was involved in any crimes, guess what, boo-boo? You can't run for nothing except for the ice cream truck. That's it. Dovetails, thank you, baby. Dovetail 55, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay? All right? Swim upstream, what's good? How you been? Yeah. YZ, what's going on? Pelham, Alabama? Hey, Alabama in the house, Sandy. You see that? Alabama in the house. All right? You see? So we need to understand that human beings are what we're about. But human beings who are here because they were born here or they became enamored of this place and they went through the process to become of this place. I ain't talking about the cats that's wandering around coming through here. Now look here, let me tell you guys a little bit of something. Be very watchful and alert, to coin our brother's name. Be very watchful. Because see, these cats that are coming over here, and I was saying this about 2 years ago, and everybody looked at me like a monkey doing a math problem while I was saying it. I was saying, you guys are expecting a lot of people coming from Mexico that look a certain way that are coming over here, but they're not what you think they are. The people they're letting over here look a lot darker than me. You better be careful, because those places that they're coming from ain't the cool cat places. I kept saying that. And now, what is the story telling us right here? Okay? Now, what does it say? Let's get into that, because I still have it up on the screen right here. All right, I want to get down to that part. But these numbers in here are the ones that got me. It says, as the new year gets underway, the numbers are growing at a disturbing rate for the municipality with a population of 96,000. The city's mayor recently declared a local emergency due to the humanitarian and border crisis caused by the unprecedented surge of migrants entering the area. During a 5-day period in early December, more than 6,000 illegal immigrants crossed from Mexico through the Yuma area, according to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection figures cited at the mayor's declaration. Migrants, it says here, quote, migrants are traveling through Yuma during a time of great uncertainty about the COVID-19 virus and without provisions for adequate food, shelter, transportation, and medical care. So what does that build? That builds disparity. For a person ain't got none of these things and they walking through, they gonna mess up something of yours. They gonna tear something of yours up. Please believe that. A statement announcing the order reads, quote, the surge of migrants has and will continue to strain the ability of medical staff and local hospital resources to provide essential and necessary medical care. In the statement, Yuma Mayor Douglas Nicholas says the change in the movement of migrants greatly impacts his community. That includes the area's agriculture. Put a pencil there, somebody. Okay, put a pencil there and bring me back to that. The agriculture. Won't you bring me back to that? Somebody, I don't know who it is, put I'll do it. If it's one of my mods in there, put I'll do it so I'll remember. Okay, that includes the area's agriculture industry because migrants are passing on foot through the active agricultural fields. The encroachment on active production fields results in food safety concerns and the destruction of crops, which leads to significant economic loss and property damage in the farming community, loss of agricultural related jobs, and a threat to the nation's food security, the city emergency declaration states. Now, it goes on to say in this paragraph, and there is nothing but numbers, nothing but numbers. I mean, Yuma, it says, is hardly the only border patrol sector. And I'm on the other side, so I can't see your comments. Make sure you guys love on people as they come in because I'm on this side. I can't see anything over there. Okay? So it says Yuma is hardly the only border patrol sector to start the year with a bang. The government figures show. Around 980 miles away, the Del Rio station in Texas has seen a 237.8% surge in illegal immigrants over the same period last year. Two other Texas sectors, Rio Grande Valley and Big Bend, also report alarming spikes. Now, these numbers get me, and I'm just going to round them up. At 167%, and 119% respectively. Other crossings in Texas, California, and Arizona have also seen major increases in illegal immigrants in the first 2 months of the fiscal year 2022. San Diego reports an 89% boost. Tucson, a 72% boost, I'm rounding up. And El Paso, a 69% boost. Each of the crossings finished fiscal year 2021 with unprecedented gains and apprehensions. Del Rio led the pack with 543% surge, while Rio Grande Valley had a 509% increase. Big Bend and El Paso recorded apprehension gains of 332% and 566% respectively in fiscal year 2021. Most of the illegal aliens, 608,000 arrests by the U.S. in 2021 came from Mexico, followed by Central American nations of Honduras with 309,000, Guatemala 279,000, and El Salvador 96,000. I said this earlier. Isn't that the amount that's just up here in this little small city? 96,000 right here? Yeah, 96. So you see why I'm seeing red. It goes on to say that nevertheless, federal agents along the Mexican border are encountering a lot more migrants from nations outside of Latin America, including those with terroristic ties. Now, look at this. This is the part that I want everybody to understand. These are the cats that need to be paid attention to. You need to pay attention to these. See these cats right here? See that cat? See that right there? See these places? See those places? The majority of those places are very olive colored. See, you're thinking that it's coming from someplace else as a whole, right? Right? But what they've done is they've taken the people from these areas and they put them right there in the middle of those paid for caravans. The paid for caravans. The paid for caravans. They put these people in with the mother people. Just like they did when they took all the people from Haiti. They brought those people from Haiti by plane because those folks were not allowed to come over here by boat, by raft, okay, by lifesaver, all right, by Snicker bar paper wrapper. They couldn't get up on anything and get over here, all right? So those people were brought here. And then, did you ever ask where did they go? 2,000 people or more? Where did they go? They blended in with the communities. They blended in with the communities. All right? But these cats right here, the ones that I've highlighted, the ones that I know you can see on the screen, these are the ones right here. All right? And what are they doing? They're going into communities and they're running the bad stuff that people buy illegally. All right? And they're capturing a lot of Americans that get caught up with them because a lot of these cats are hired once they get over here to do some stuff. So you tell your kids, your sons and your daughters, to don't get hooked up with these folks. Let these folks go on about their business. Somebody come to you telling you something looks good and all that other stuff, don't do it. Okay? Just don't do it. All right? Don't get involved because they're taking a lot of kids down right now because of this stuff. They really are. I don't know whether you guys know it or not, but there's a lot of kids. Look at the jump in crime in your area right now. Okay? Look at it. Look at the amount of people that are getting into trouble. Look at the amount of people that are getting into trouble right now in your community, and tell your sons and daughters, your nephews, that most of them want to have a little bit of bling, and most of them, there you go. I took care of it, Lisa. You got it. Most of them want to have a little bit of extra money. Most of them want to have a little bit of this or that. And so a lot of these kids are getting the mindset of, yeah, I want to have what the rappers have. I want to have what they got. And here's the funny thing. Rappers are not just for black folk anymore. Okay? Yeah. All right? What do you think was at that Travis Scott concert? Huh? Let's get it together, people. We need to get our minds together. You got a lot of young folks in your families, nieces, nephews, somebody that's going to be getting wrapped up with some of these cats that's coming over here with their big scheme ideas. And they got money. And they're giving money to these kids and they're telling the kids, go out and do X, Y, or Z. Go out and do X, Y, or Z. And we'll give you the money. And if anything happens to you, don't worry. We'll get you out of there. It's all a bunch of mess. It's all a bunch of mess. Mars Fool's Gold, would you help me keep the room clean, please, sir? I got you. If necessary. Okay? So y'all be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. Sandy Aaron, help me keep everything clean, please, ma'am. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. Tell your nieces and your nephews that I said that they're doing a lot of stuff. Okay? So as we're looking at these numbers and as we're figuring out all of this stuff, it is really time for us to realize that there are now a lot of people that are here illegally that really don't have our best interest at heart, and that if it comes down to it, that we need to make sure that if we don't do anything but tell the young ones around us what to look out for, that we've done our job in that regard. Hey, I'm Leslie. Okay? Christy Belly, hey. L78. Now, who was going to remind me about the agriculture. It's okay. I got it. Listen. Do you remember all the stories that I was bringing to you, which there are so many more that I dare not bring them because I felt like people were getting tired of me telling you guys about the bad food. But here's the thing, the bad lettuce and all the bad this and all the bad that, all of that stuff is coming from those areas. Remember, there was a whole West Coast recall on all the lettuce, on all the everything, when they know people are going to be getting together eating, right? What do you think people do if they don't have any restrooms to get to and they're walking through fields and it's that many people with that many different issues going on? Those people are going there. And so you're wondering, how is it that they have the food that's coming up with all these issues and all these problems? I submit that this is how. You know, in California, when I grew up out there, they used to have tomato recalls and different things like that because they would have some people that were working out in the fields, and unfortunately, they would relieve themselves there in the field, and that would go into some of the tomato crops. It would go into all these different other crops, and things were really, really dangerous, and so they would have to do recalls. This is catastrophic at best, but it's being allowed. All of these things are being allowed. Get angry. Talk to the people in your community, people who can listen to you. You let them know what's good. If you don't do anything but become a mouthpiece for your community to say, hey, you know what? And you don't have to get indignant. You don't have to go crazy. All you got to do is just say, hey, you know what? We're not too happy. And we feel as if you're not doing the best interest for our community. And so if you're not able to do it, me and all these folks that we've all gotten together with, we don't think you need to go back where you just came from. All right. Because sometimes you lose touch with people. Now, there are some people who are planted. If you are in Atlanta, there are some people who are planted in your area. They're not even from Georgia, but they were planted there and they were planted to take over. So if you in Georgia, you better look around and get your head right. Okay. Get your head right. Because anything that is anti-American is anti-you. Anything that is opposite of where we live and where we're from is anti-you. Okay? All right? And that's what I wanted to say about that. Okay? All right? Yes. Yes, Mars Full Gold. All right? Watchful and Alert says, always wash store-bought lettuce. That's right. But even more than that, I think what they were trying to do was to, with all these large recalls, with all the large recalls, there were recalls where some companies took all of their food back, period. Everything that they had made up until the, what are you talking about here, Deborah Johnson? Ignacio Chapella was a critic of Berkeley's controversial academic-industrial partnership with Swiss agrobiotech Syngenta genetically modified crops had followed into Mexico maize throughout the genome. Very interesting, you guys. Look into that. Okay? So this is the reason why all of our food is being attacked. So you see a whole boatload of food. You can't even get. One particular company just took all of their food off of the market. Anything that was done by December 29th, I think it was the end of December, all of the food. It was a major company there in Canada. But as you know, Canada is very close to America. You know, I mean, we're all the same, really. If you just remove that line, unfortunately, and fortunately. But unfortunately, they took everything they made all the way down to the flour, all the way down to the corn products, all the way down to the grain, and they removed it. They did this not long ago. All right. So every time you turn around, there's something wrong with the food somewhere. And now you're saying, oh, there's empty shelves. Well, you got a couple of things working against you. You've got the fact that, yes, we do have our ports that aren't doing a lot of movement now with a lot of the stuff coming in and out. And then you've got the fact that we're constantly seeing deadly recalls on foods. I mean, terrible things that are being done to food. Terrible, terrible thing. Okay? Hey, Betty R. Rooster, how you doing? It's good to see you. Hate-filled messages left on lawns in Florida. Well, you know, there's a lot of money being paid. Oh, wait a minute. Did I publish that? Boy, let me see. Let me show you guys this money. Let's follow the money right quick. Y'all got a second? Let me show you this money I was talking about. I was reading this. Let me go into my history and I'll read this to you guys. Because this was amazing. The amount of money that was given. Whoa, when we do it big here. When we do it here, honey, we do it big. We don't just do anything haphazard. We don't do anything partial. We do stuff big. I think maybe I made it a. Did I? I know that I turned it into an audio, but the audio is not yet rendered. So I'm going to just go on ahead and read to you the monies. All right. Okay. So this, you guys are going to see this again because it's already been turned into audio. The audio's already been done. I just have to finish editing it. So for those of you who will see it again, you're going to see it again, period. Sorry. You're just going to end up seeing it again. But since we're talking about the topic, I thought it best for us to share it in this forum. So let me go on ahead and get it for you. Okay, so you guys are going to see this. More than $6.4 billion in U.S. pandemic aid sent abroad, including China. The story comes from John Howie, or Huey, and it is from the Epoch Times. I do not own this story, just like I not own any of the others. I'm just giving you where you can locate them. And you may or may not know this because it was written January 26, I should say published, and it was updated today. All right. It says some 2,000 foreign contractors and nonprofits in 177 countries received more than $6.4 billion in the United States federal pandemic response assistance between spring of 2020 and the fall of 2021, according to a report by the United States Office of Inspector General's Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. Most of the prime recipients are based in the United States and distributed overseas, the funds overseas in the amount of $6.4 billion in foreign payments came from two pandemic relief packages passed by Congress March of 2020 and March of 2021, totaling $4.1 trillion. Okay? All right? Hope you guys can see this. All right. So it also goes on to say that those prime recipients include federal agencies, including the Departments of Defense, Homeland Security, and Health and Human Services, and the U.S. Agency for International Development, and nonprofits such as the North Carolina based Family Health International and Boston based JSI Research and Treatment Training Institute. Collectively, between spring 2020 and September of 2021, these federal agencies and nonprofits have approved more than 4,000 contracts and issued 1,000 grants from pandemic relief funds to sub-recipients across the globe, including foreign contractors that provide services for the U.S. government and international development and healthcare organizations. Let me blow this up so you guys can see it a little better. Okay? All righty. Organization. So it goes on to say that the largest single, listen closely, the largest single international prime recipient is the United Nations, which received $831.4 million in direct payment funding, according to the report. The United Nations, the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis, and Malaria, and the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees received 43% of the U.S. pandemic relief funding spent overseas, according to the report. Now, the other top 9 prime recipients which spend the relief funds overseas were UNICEF with $224 million, FHI with 100 million, right? Because that's 99.945, so it's 100 million. General Dynamics Global Force LLC with another 97 million, and the United Kingdom-based Accra Global Limited with 84 million. I'm rounding everything up if it ends with a 0.5, okay? International Red Cross and Crescent, $74 million, and the International Organization for Migration, another $68 million. JSI, $64 million, and the African Field Epidemiology Network, $63 million, and miscellaneous foreign contracts for $366 million or $367 million. About $2 billion of the $6.4 billion in internationally distributed U.S. pandemic relief funds was deposited and distributed through banks in Switzerland because many of the international nonprofit organizations are headquartered in Geneva. According to PRAC, those Geneva-based recipients include $1.5 billion for the Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria, $401 million for the UN High Commission, and $88 million for the International Organization for Migration, and another $79 million for the World Health Organization, and $6.4 million for, it looks like Locomote, either way it goes, it is the Red Cross in France, okay? Now, the recipient mix varies from nation to nation. For instance, the subrecipients in Kuwait received the second highest allocation by nation after Switzerland, $411 million, with most providing services for the United States technology and defense contractors such as Colorado-based Vectra System Corporation, which distributed $339 million in pandemic relief contracts on contractors and organizations in Kuwait. The pandemic relief funds that went to non-domestic recipients are, in addition to supplementary to the existing U.S. foreign aid programs, which totaled $51 billion in aid obligations to 11,000 recipients across the globe in 2020. In 2021, while pandemic relief funds were distributed through USAID, its direct allocation actually declined to $36 billion, which was committed to 8,000 activities in 181 countries. For clarification, let me reread that. In 2021, while pandemic relief funds were distributed through USAID, its direct allocation actually declined to $36 billion, which was committed to 8,000 activities in 181 countries. Since the spring of 2020, the USAID maintains that it has supported more than 120 countries in their fight to contain and combat the virus by providing $5.7 billion for vaccinations, including $700 million to strengthen vaccination programs and to purchase 1 billion Pfizer vaccines for distributions around the world. Now, fiscal year 2022, USAID reports that it had $4.7 billion obligated, $502 million in contracts, and $4.2 million in grants, and dispersed $3.1 million billion and 780 pandemic relief awards to 287 recipients, including many in Africa. Phone calls and emails left with officials listed USAID media contacts did not to elicit a response over a 2-week period. They didn't even get back with them. They didn't even talk to them. They didn't even respond to anything. Now, the rest of this I'm going to leave for you guys in the description box, okay? And it will also be on the completed video once we're done putting all this stuff together, okay? But this is where your money went. And there's so much more money that's listed. Look at this. The open book maintains $6.4 billion figure cited by PRAC, and even the $14.6 billion cited by the Treasury does not include all foreign-related COVID-19 spending, such as allocations for the U.S. Health and Human Services Global Vaccine Program, or the $9.6 billion in total COVID-19 budgetary resources earmarked for the USAID, or the American subsidiaries for foreign countries. Whew, okay. According to the openbooks.com, that includes 125 Chinese firms with strong ties to the CCP that received forgivable loans from the $660 billion Paycheck Protection Program in 2020, which is also not included in the foreign aid outlays. Do you see this? Do you see that? Yeah, that part. Now you see why I get a little heated. Hey, Deborah, do me a favor. Send all of that to email, and then we'll go ahead and disperse it, okay? to give everybody the opportunity to see that. Do you guys see that? Do you see that? That is where we are, and that is where I get a little cranky. That's why I get a little cranky. Because it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable that I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, we spent about an hour together now. So I am just going to, it is crazy, right? Watchful and alert. Thousands of U.S. truckers joining our Canadian brothers and sisters tomorrow. Isn't that wonderful? So I think that at this point, the only thing that I can say is you need to start at home by making sure that, like my brother Lee said the other night when he spent some time with us, okay? Hey, S with him. Thank you. You're so funny. Okay? Okay? Yeah? So as we're talking about the specific topics that we're looking at right here, it's just I don't know. I just feel like there is a lot of stuff that needs to be done, but it's best for us to each start at our home. You guys have got some people that you're going to start voting for. You guys need to start to look into all of this stuff. You need to start looking into everybody who supposedly wants to run. And especially if you're in the little small towns, that's the one thing that my brother did say. Oh, really? Really? Mark, really? So you own a semi truck body shop in Atlanta, and they really are, right? Because that's what my husband does, is drives trucks. All right. So it is terrible. It's awful. And there's an EO number right there. I'm going to write that down. I really am. And if you guys do not have my email address to send me information and to send me the good stuff, because I don't have a lot of the information that a lot of other people have. I only have what comes my way by one of my assistants who sends me information, and then the things that I glean and read and whatever good information that you guys send to me. So what I'm trying to say is I'm only as good as what's given, and you guys are, I believe, the best. Okay. I think that you guys are the best. You are one of the best chats. I say that about Headlines with a Voice. I say that about the Lockhart Perspectives chat, because you guys really are the best. You are. And so because of that, I want you guys to send anything you guys see that's real, that I can vet a couple of different directions and send it. And that goes to Felicia@FeliciaLockhart.com. It looks like good old-fashioned Felicia, but it's Felicia@FeliciaLockhart.com. All right, send me anything there, or you can go to FeliciaLockhart.com. We're trying to redo that. I keep saying we're trying to redo that because I don't really know the direction I want to go. I guess if they kick me off here, then I know I won't have but one direction, and that is on my website. I'll only have to be able to go to my website. Okay. And remember, if you guys are interested, please join me over at TLP Headlines with a Voice. Join over there. Please join me on all of my social media. You can reach me by any form of social media. I normally don't even use. I normally won't even I don't even use Facebook, but over the past couple of weeks, especially over about the past couple of months, I should say, I've been getting wonderful people sending me messages about Bettina, sending me, some of her good friends have found me that way, people that I never knew about from way back in the day. And so it's just a blessing to be able to talk to folks that way. So what I'm trying to say about Facebook is I really don't like them because, yeah, TLP, all caps. I put it in here. I really don't like to, how do I say? I really don't like to use that because they zapped me. What is it called? What did they do to me? Oh, shadow banned me. Yeah. So they jacked me because I tell you what, when I was really, really, really doing my thing back in the day for Mr. Naranga, Mr. Orange Man, they zapped me. When I was really, really, I mean, I look at people like what are their names, Pearl and Grace or whatever, the two black ladies. whatever their names, Leather and Lace, whatever their names are, they had nothing on me. They had, as far as supporting that man, I truly and honestly help believe that I'm the fault. I am the fault because I know how much work I was doing to try to get that cat in because I was completely diametrically opposed to the other person. And then I was still voting then. Now I'm like, whoo, two sides, same coin. Yeah, them, the diamond and silk chicks. It was them, it was me, and it was a few other real strong, heavy hitters at that time. They, of course, outshined me and, of course, passed me up, and that's cool. They can have it. But my point is, they didn't have nothing on me. When I tell you I had a campaign going, I had a campaign going. And baby, if Facebook did not tell me where to go and how quick to get it, they just said cluck cluck and cut me right off. They cut me right off. Okay? They cut me right off. And there was really nothing that I could do. So, but with that said, yeah. So my point is I really don't get a chance to go through there that often. But when I did just most recently, I saw a lot of people that was reaching out to us from reaching out because of them saying, hey, I didn't know that she passed away. I knew her when she had cancer several years ago, and at that time she pulled away from us then, and now she's gone and we're sorry. So for that reason I'm very happy as well. There are some people who do leave good information over there, but what I want to tell you is that if you really want to get in touch with me, you have to go to my website, because I check that at least twice a day. Once in the morning, and then I'll try to check it like when we get off here. I'll be going to see different things because I know Sandy just said that she put some stuff over there. Yeah, I spent my time disgracing. Girl, Joy, I'm trying to tell you, girl. When I tell you, Mark, when I tell you, Angela, when I tell you, Deborah, that they got at your girl, I was doing my thing. S with them, I was doing my thing. They were like, we got to get rid of her. Who is this woman? But then at the same token, the way that I see it is that I not only got at him when I was really, really, rooting for him to do a good job, but I was one of the first people who noticed when something didn't sit right. You know what I mean? Like removing this and then putting that in its place or all that other stuff. Michael, how you doing, baby? It's good to see you. So for me, it was it was just, I don't know. I'm not really noticeable over there. I can post something right now. I could turn into Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Nobody would see it. Nobody would see it. Okay? Nobody would see it at all. All right, you guys. So, you know what? We've been together for about a little bit over an hour right now. I think I've said a lot of the stuff that I wanted to say. And yeah, that's it. That's it. You are tracking. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Hey, there, my good friend is. Hello there, Rachel. How are you? It's so good to see you. So good to see you. Really, really, Deborah. Wow. Okay. All right. All right, you guys, you all take care of yourselves. I want to thank again Mark Owens for that beautiful, beautiful gift. And also, I think it's Dove. Was it Dovetail? Let me see. I think it was. Oh, my grandson is having a good time. I think it was Dove. I can't see the name up here anymore because they moved them on this side. Let me come out on y'all's side. On y'all's side, big baby. Let me come on y'all's side. All right. I want to thank Dove, and I want to thank, here we go, right here, Mark. I want to thank Dove and Mark for giving our very first, you guys are the first people who have ever given in the, what is this thing called down here? Super chats. You guys are the first two people who have ever taken the opportunity to give. So I appreciate you for showing your support via the super chat way. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right, you guys. You guys remember what we always say. And thank you guys for letting me vent. I had to vent. Y'all ain't seen nothing. Because if you get me in a spot where it's just us, baby, you gonna know. You gonna know. You gonna know. All right, you guys, remember what we always say, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys continue to take care of yourselves, please, because remember, if you don't take care of you, ain't nobody gonna do it. And then after you do that, I just want you to make sure that you take care of one another. Okay? Keep your eyes out. Remember one thing, you guys, before I leave, talk dovetail. There you go, baby. Thank you. I see you now. Dovetail 55. Thank you. One thing I want you guys to remember, okay? Talk to those youngins that's around you, even the ones that you don't think may be involved. You let them know that there is no easy money, and that if somebody, especially just recently, what we've just seen, okay, yeah, we are, have been for a minute, but we just did that not long ago. um yeah, and then all of the we also have a Patreon, but it's a new Patreon, and that's going to be over on TLP, because I can't even upload on the other one, but I have uploaded to TLP, Headlines with a Voice. Maybe I need to just have a date to just give you guys all the information that you need to know when you are giving, where your money goes and all that. I think we'll do that another time. But here's the thing, you guys, talk to those children, because I have noticed while talking to family members that in places like Atlanta, places like New York, Los Angeles, they're being befriended, and this is why I'm saying it, because in 3 cases they were being befriended by children or adults, young adults that don't speak the same language natively as they did. And all 3 instances, these 3 people in the families, some of the family members, ended up going to jail because of them thinking that they could, you know, beat raps, and that they could go on ahead and do all these crazy things. And so one of my distant relatives that called me and told me, hey, listen, did you know that he even knew these people? And I was like, no, I never even knew that he hung out with kids like that. I didn't know that. Oh, that's terrible. That's awful. But yet he thought that he could do something. And the kids that, and I can't say they were kids, they appeared to be young people, but they were literally much older. Here, run this over here for me. Don't worry about what's in it, just go. No, that ain't reality. So I don't know who I'm saying this to. Okay? I don't know who I'm saying this to. But if you guys see some different characteristics in some young ones around you, get at them, love them, pull them to the side and say, hey, who is that? Where do you know them from? What are y'all doing? Especially in the States, where tipping with the tea leaves, as it were, is legal. Okay? Okay? All right. So you guys continue to take care of yourselves, and remember to take care of one another. Until we speak with each other again, Yah willing. Please continue to be blessed. I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off, because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. Hey, Betty R, you guys be good and take care.